So now we'd love to transition to one segment in our podcast where we're actually going to be playing this game called The Game That Goes There. And this game was created by the Liv Project. And Tess, would you like to explain a little bit about the game? I heard it from the film, and it's very. The second I heard about it, it made me want to play because it has so much significance to mental health and actually just talking about mental health. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. So the game that goes there, basically, kind of like your podcast, happened during COVID. We saw how the film was really, bringing up these difficult conversations and inspiring people to talk. And a lot of like teens and young adults approached me and said, I want to be involved in some way. And so I just was having a lot of conversations, and I was asking people, how do you connect with your friends? And how, what might be a different way to talk about these really hard subjects? And a lot of them said games. And I'm a lover of games in my house. And I love Cards Against Humanity and Settlers of Catan, and like I'm all about the games, and find that for my introverted soul, that is something that really is great for connecting with other people. So we partnered with this agency called Humanaut. They're based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and their mission statement is like, we put good things in people's brains, and they just they're so funny and they are so creative. And we basically gave them the prompt of, we want to have a game that helps facilitate conversations around mental health. And so they presented us with 5 different games, and I brought those 5 games to this youth advisory board, and we kind of had a focus group. I got their opinions. They unanimously chose the game that goes there. So we created this game, and we had the help of Susan, the therapist on the project, and Children's Hospital, who, just like the film, helped vet it for us and make sure that it is safe. And I've seen just amazing just responses from people in playing the game. I teach theater out here in the Philadelphia area, and I brought it to some of my students ages 13 to 18, and they freaked out. It was awesome. They just talked so much about their mental health before we even started playing, and then we played, and they learned things about each other. I played it with my friends and my partner of 10 years, and I learned things about him I didn't know. And it lets you talk in a way that's not clinical or scary. So I'll show you the box first of all, because it's awesome. The design is so cool. It's these monsters that everyone seems to really resonate with, like we all have these monsters inside of us. Let's stop being afraid of them, and let's talk about them and see why they're there. So what I'm going to do is, instead of guessing, yeah, get ready. Right. So instead of guessing, I'm going to roll a dice. And that is going to determine which card we pick. So I'm going to pull a card, read the prompt, and we can just kind of open dialogue and respond. And then after a few, I might throw in some creative responses, like, okay, instead of answering the prompt this time, do it in a haiku form, or do it in a doodle. So yeah, so be honest and don't be a jerk, and you only have to go there if you want to. So I'm going to roll. If I roll a 1 or a 2, we pick the kind of going there card. If I roll a 3 or 4, we go with almost going there. 5 or 6, we're going there. Okay, here we go. So much anticipation. 6 immediately. Wow. Okay, we're going there.
The first card, we are going there.
First card. I think my body is ever changing. I think I've had a lot of body image issues myself, similar to Liv. And I think for a long time, I took my body for granted in just saying my body is just what it looks like, and not the amazing things it does for me, lets me walk around and breathe. And so I think my body is ever changing, and I'm trying to be okay with that. And sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I think my body sucks today. But in this moment, I think my body is ever changing.
For me, I'm like just looking physically, I'm a skinnier guy. So for me, like I've been trying to work out more, but again, I do this for me. I think it's tough because I haven't always done it for me. There's definitely been times where I work out to like look a certain way for other people and things like that. But I think I'm at a point now where like I work out and change my body in that way because that's what I want to do. The only trouble is because of COVID, it's limited, so it's
Right.
difficult. But regardless, I feel like ahead of me, I have some physical goals that I'm going to work towards as soon as COVID dies down and as soon as like the gyms are more accessible for me. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
My body is all right. And the reason why I say all right is not like, like, oh, it's all right. The reason I'm saying that is because, like, similar to Camden, like, I'm a pretty skinny guy. Like, growing up, a lot of people always were like, oh, you're so skinny, skinny boy, and like all these different things, right? I never really let it get to me, because I understood it's like, yeah, it's whatever. Like, it's not, it's something I can change, but it's like not something I want to change or that I necessarily need to change right now. Until like recently, I found like I've I wasn't all right with like how I was looking. I let those thoughts like get to me, like those thoughts of, oh, you're skinny, and it's like you have no muscle or something similar to that. And I let those thoughts get to me. And like I was like working out, this is crazy, all these like different things just to make me feel like to live up to like what other people were saying for sure. But I found quite quickly that the motivation to like change wasn't going to stay there unless I was going to do it for myself. And then I found like the importance of doing stuff just for yourself. And this wasn't just like working out and stuff, but like anything. Like in the past, like I wasn't able to like have like motivation, like work out because I was doing it for other people that are telling me, oh, you're skinny. Oh, you're go work out and stuff like that. But like until I sat down with myself and I asked myself, why am I doing this? And I figured out it's like, oh, I'm doing this for myself because one of the goals that I have is like to run like a marathon or something in the future. Which and I got to train for that. I want to practice that. I want to strive for that goal a little bit every single day. Like once I knew why I was doing it and not why other people were making me do it or influencing my decision to do it, then I finally found like some peace. So that's why I say my body is all right. I'm happy with my body pretty much.
My ego can't handle it when.
What I would say is when I feel the lowest in terms of my ego is when I don't want to accept that I messed up, knowing that I messed up, and like letting other people down because of it. That's the biggest thing for me. I think overall, like if people were to say, oh, I think you should maybe change this or something, I'm pretty open into like taking some not like mean criticism, but like I'm open to taking criticism on like how I live my life, how I act from my friends and my family and everything. But I feel like when I don't accept it myself, when I maybe I made a risky decision or something that doesn't really align with who I am, I feel like in that moment, like my ego just can't deal with it because I just end up feeling really low because I know I should have made another decision. So it has to do with a lot of guilt.
I resonate with that. Yeah, I think my ego can't handle it when I make like really silly mistakes that could have been very easily avoidable. I don't know why. That's like, I just like really beat myself up over that.
I honestly like, I don't want to go again, but basically I didn't think about that, but that is definitely the same way for me too. If there could be an easy way to get something done, and I do like the longest, hardest way that takes me forever, I get so annoyed that I just could have like thought about it more and made a better decision, or
Mm.
like simple things. Definitely for me too.
My ego can't handle it when I know I could have done better at something. For me, it's like in terms of like creativity and stuff, if I, or like just work in general, it's like if I know I didn't try my best, it definitely it makes me feel like why didn't I do that? I know like the outcome might have been different, a little different if I actually put in more effort into it or something different. So like I know like it's my ego is affected like when I don't do my best, but sometimes I know it's like sometimes I have to put in. I can't do my best all the time. So at some points I understand like, okay, well, I understand why this certain thing happened because of that. But yeah, I think that's what I think.
I think we've got some, I think we're a group of very introverted perfectionists, is what it
Yes,
sounds like.
definitely.
So for this final round, we are going to respond via doodle. So we're doing almost going there. Ooh, interesting. My best excuse for not hanging out with friends. Go via doodle. My best excuse for not hanging out with friends. I'll go. This is my best excuse.
I love that.
I get so tired. I also get really bad migraines. So like if I feel a migraine coming on, I'm like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And then
Yeah.
this is like a little bowl of ice cream beside me. You know,
So that's
gotta have the ice cream.
so that's usually what you're doing when you're not hanging out with friends, or yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm too tired to hang out, which is
I'm-
such a silly excuse.
Yeah.
It's valid when I am really tired, but sometimes I feel like I lean on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can relate to that for sure.
I'm like, am I tired or is it social anxiety? I'm not sure.
I guess I can definitely go next.
Okay.
I think the most common excuse I've always used why I can't hang out with friends is I'll show the photo there. That's family. I usually say like, oh, I got family stuff going on. Oh, it's family stuff, which a majority of the time is actually pretty true because I have a big family. So there's always something going on, but it's not that I'm always a part of it. So so that's usually my go-to excuse, which is true for the most time, but I love spending time with them. So like, and also my friends. So I don't use that excuse very much.
Dang, those are good. Okay. Prepare yourselves. This one isn't the best drawing. But I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a smiley face.
Yes.
And in the bubble, there's a calendar and a piece of paper with a pencil. Basically, for me, my excuse is always like, I'm busy, I have a lot of work like to get done, which of the most case is true. But I just get overall a lot of anxiety and stress over school assignments and everything, that even if the assignment's due in like a week, I'm like, oh shoot, it was just posted, I need to get it done. I can't hang out with you guys. So I need to work on that. But most of the time, my excuse is, yeah, like I have a lot on my plate, a lot of work to get done, schoolwork. So I can't.
I can definitely relate to that for sure.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you both for going there with me.
Sure.
Yeah, so when you like write down your responses and you don't know who it's coming from, it adds this element of like, I don't know, it just adds another element to it. Where even if you're playing with like your closest friends or family, you can still learn things that you didn't know. So
For
yeah,
sure.
thank you for playing with me.
Of course. And Tess, would you like to share where people can find this game?
Yes, you can find the game at thelivproject.com. Our first run is sold out, so we are taking pre-orders for our next run, which is going to come out early 2021.
All right, so now we're starting to get into 1%. So for any of you that don't know what a 1% is, a 1% is a small action towards a goal. The idea is to break down large goals into manageable parts. So yeah, we have one special 1% today for anyone going through mental health issues or mental health problems. Tess, what do you think would be a good 1%, like a place for them to start off? Yeah.
I think for anyone struggling with their mental health, I think a wonderful goal would be connection. And I think a good 1% for that goal would be finding one person in your circle who you know loves and cares about you, and reaching out to them and telling them that you're struggling in however way or however many words you want to use, but just connecting with one person, I think, is a great step towards that goal. Yeah, I think my 1%, I think we talked a lot today about being in the present moment. And since my day before this was so full of like aimlessly scrolling for no reason, I think my goal is to be more present. So my 1% is to like connect with nature in some way, at least once a day.
For my 1%, I have actually something pretty similar to what you just mentioned, Tess. During our conversation about social media, I was thinking back to those times where I felt a lot happier because I was able to just be in the moment without picking up my phone and scrolling or doing something similar to that. So I think my 1% is definitely to be in the moment in all situations, and also stay off of social media. I think that's the key there, staying off of social media for me, or when I need to. And by what I'm going to do in order to do that is probably set like those Apple restrictions on your iPhones where it restricts your social media. I'll try taking advantage of that and not spending so much time on social media.
For my 1%, anytime I reach out to someone for anything, whatever that may be, I'm going to make sure that within that conversation, I ask them how they're doing, but how they're doing really. I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to take it's fine or it's good as an answer, because I'd actually love to know how, like, the people I reach out to, my friends, my family, how they're actually doing. So from now on, I'm going to really try as like any conversation or over text or whatever that looks like, I'm going to try to actually reach out and get a good sense of how they're really doing.
Once again, we want to thank you, Tess, so much for coming on our podcast and having a discussion with us about mental health, also suicide awareness. And Tess, would you like to share with our audience where they can find some more of the work, or especially the Liv Project?
Yes, yeah, you can go to our website at thelivproject.com. You can learn about the film on there, also the game. Also, we've got t-shirts and sweatshirts and some info about some upcoming projects. You can also follow us on Instagram, _live_project. And I also wanted to throw out a couple of resources out there. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline is always available 24 hours a day. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or are in a crisis, you can call that number. It's 1-800-273-8255. You can also text the crisis text line. You can text the word START to 741-741. NAMI is also a wonderful resource. It stands for National Alliance for Mental Illness, and it is a national resource, and it has local chapters. So CU has a NAMI chapter, Boulder County has a NAMI chapter, and there are plenty of resources and programs and trainings on there. And the JED Foundation is also another organization I wanted to mention. It specifically caters to teens and young adults and the transition from high school to college, and has a lot of wonderful Resources, their Instagram is great, especially for coping right now during COVID. So I would absolutely go look at the JED Foundation, as well as the Trevor Project, which is a great LGBTQIA organization for LGBTQIA youth who are struggling with their mental health. So those are a couple of resources, and thank you both so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah, I just want to thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you for providing those organizations and groups. Definitely make sure to check that out, everyone, if you need. And lastly here, I just want to let everyone know that it's very important to do something.
Do something.
All right, guys.
I was early.
It's all good.